Welcome, everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com, and this is your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead, February 12th through February 16th. What a volatile week in the markets this week once again as traders try to adopt to the new changing ways of the market. Uh, Before, our market was like little lambs. All right, here was our market before, just grinding up nicely for everybody as 2018 started. And now we've become this. And I'm just trying to make a point that, we're going to have to maybe adapt to volatility now as we were used to this nice rising climb, nothing, no volatility in the markets, holding the 5 EMA. And now maybe the markets, with the VIX climbing, and we'll go more into that in a few moments. But as the VIX climbs and volatility comes in, are we going to be dealing with this going forward? So we went from that, lambs playing, baby lambs, cute and everything, and you just, rode the 5 EMA up, not a care in the world, to, now we have to kind of see what each day is going to bring in the market. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll do that right now. And let me bring this over. Before we start talking about the markets and whatnot, this XIV trader, I've lost $4 million in 3 years of work and other people's money. So this is the kind of market that we're in right now as this XIV trader. And I'll show you the charts of those in a second. Also, Barron saying fasten seatbelts, volatility ahead. So, Barron's finally noticing that there's some volatility. The good thing is here, well, not the good thing, but, we are, as far as fear and greed index here, this is from CNN Money. It's currently at 10. We were at 8. It went to 10. We're still in extreme fear, but that means that the market is a bit oversold right now, and we'll get more into that. From what I can see, there's not much insider selling going on right now. All right, so right now we're near still bullish as far as insider transactions ratio here, and this from Barron's also. And there's money to be made out there, right? Making millions from chaos. Right, from volatility and chaos can come, opportunity, and we'll see, how this is all going to play out. Before we get into the markets, we'll go into what we can expect coming up, and then we'll go from there. Let's look at the economic first before the earnings. This courtesy of the Trade Exchange, folks at Trade Exchange, built for traders by traders. They have this neat little calendar. We do have a little bit of Fed speak now. Loretta Mester will be speaking at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Also, we have GDP coming out from Japan Tuesday night. The things that I'm going to be watching: the consumer price index at 8:30 a.m. On Wednesday morning. So that's a test of inflation. So this could be a big test for the market. The consumer CPI, is inflation rearing its ugly head again? And does that mean, the Fed has to be quicker raising interest rates? And if interest rates rise, then that means the market might get more money pulled out of it. So that's one of the things I'll be watching for this week as far as economic. Then the other thing we need to watch is the 8:30 also, the PPI on Thursday morning. PPI will be coming out. That's another measurement of inflation. So the CPI and PPI, that coming out Thursday. So that'll be two important things economically coming out. And then basically it's pretty much, the oil numbers on Tuesday, the API, 10:30, petroleum oil numbers coming out, and, Baker Hughes rig count. So, but PPI, CPI, Wednesday, Thursday. So keep keep an eye on that. And then let's go ahead and get into some of the stocks. We're still in the height of our earnings season. This week coming up, you see all the various companies reporting earnings. Friday before they open, you have Coca-Cola, John Deere, Kraft, KHC, Newell, NWL, VMC, Vulcan. So, and then Smucker's down there. Thursday after the bell, a CBS. Shake Shack will be reporting. Before the bell on Thursday, we have Shopify, SHOP, Waste Management, WM, and Encana, ENC, I believe is the symbol there. Yandex, YNDX. And then Wednesday after the close, Applied Materials, Cisco will be reporting. Solar Edge, SEDG, symbol there. Marriott, MAR, SunPower, SPWR. Wix will be reporting before the bell on Wednesday. WIX, Dr. Pepper, DPS there. SodaStream, SODA, Tech, symbol here is Tech. MZOR, Mazor Robotics will be reporting. Groupon, GRPN. Tuesday after the bell, Baidu, Twilio, TWLO, MetLife, MET. What else? Anything major there on Tuesday? Don't see anything else. Under Armour is before the bell on Tuesday. So UA or UAA, Pepsi, PEP, Sina, I believe that is SINA, Blue Apron, APRN, HIMX. And I think that's it for Tuesday for the bigger names. Then Monday, CHGG. And then FDC for Monday before the bell. So there's some of your earnings, still in the height of earnings season coming out. So just be aware of that. Some big names, some market moving names, like Baidu, Applied Materials, AMAT, Cisco, CSCO will be reporting earnings. All right, let's look at some of the stocks. This is from courtesy of the Trade Exchange. And by the way, this was courtesy of Earnings Whisper. Sorry. And then here's a Trade Exchange built for traders by traders. Some of your top gainers for the trading day from Friday: CGG, WAIR, AOI, PIRS, MOBL, AQXP, FireEye that had earnings, FEYE, Mattel, and then CTIC. And then here's some of your losers. Friday, HMNY was popping on Thursday, but then sold off on Friday for HMNY, and then iRobot got after their earnings just got slaughtered there on iRobot. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into the markets a little bit here, and then we'll go from there. My stocks to watch list, I'm going to do a separate video for stocks to watch, okay? So we're going to have the earnings right now, and then we'll go in, we're going to do, kind of the let's get ready for the week ahead, and then we're going to do the stocks to watch in a separate video. I think it'll make it easier for everybody. All right, so, the Dow this week, let's start with the SPY on the weekly chart. All right, and so the SPY this week was down 5%, QQQ down also 5% for the week, IWM down 5%, IWC that took a hit of 3% this week on the IWC, SMH down 5% for the week. USO oil took a hit this week, down 9%, or we can look at the light sweet crude WTI, down about 10% for the week on oil. And oil was down as Iran increased production, and also the rig counts went up, and so oil kind of fallen off the table here, broke through that $60 a barrel level on oil. We'll look at it on the daily also, now down below the 50 SMA for oil. So, we have to watch and see, is this $55 a barrel going to come back in play? So keep your eye on that for oil, as the crude inventories were building up this week, or not less than a drawdown. So oil losing it this week, and also the dollar moving up a little bit this week didn't help matters there. As far as the XLF, that was down about 6% for the week. And the Dow Jones had its second week of selling. On two separate days, the Dow was down 1,000 points. So volatility is definitely back in the markets. What everybody's kind of pointing to on the SPY right now, we did come down to this 200 SMA, and actually in the service we got a very nice trade on the SPY and Apple. It was kind of like pick your stock as we got closer to that 200 SMA. It was the first time we touched it since about 2016 on the SPY. So now we have to see now Monday, are we going to get a continuation move up, or are these dip buyers going to be hurt as we maybe gap down Monday? So we'll have to see how this is going to play out for the SPY. But the bulls did show up where they were supposed to. They did come in at the 200 SMA, so that's a good sign. Now we need to know if we can get some follow through from that nice recovery by the bulls. Um, the thing about this correction, right, that I've noticed is, corrections are normal. They're going to happen, especially, I've been pointing out on quarterly charts on my Twitter stream, which is at Zozo Stockwatch, how the market has been, a little parabolic, and we were everybody knew we were due for a pullback. It's just the speed that this happened, with the market. It was just so rapid. So down is down, I guess, whether you're down 100 points a day or 1,000 points in a few days. But it was just the speed. It seemed a little bit like a violent correction, a 10% correction in a few days, almost kind of flash crashish, if that's a word. But it seemed like a little bit on the flash side. You have all these algos and computers, and I guess selling begets selling, but it just seemed very quick. I don't know what my point is there. I guess either way, if you went down 100 points every day for a few weeks, would that be any better? I don't know, or is it better just to kind of rip that Band-Aid off and get it over with as the SPYs and the markets are kind of doing now. But just seemed a little bit kind of like a flash type of move. So we'll see. All right. And, I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe from, this flash down, you can have like a bigger, pop up. So we'll see how that's all going to, play out. Now, as far as the XIV, a lot of financial engineering and derivatives you're hearing a lot about. A lot of margin calls are starting to hit the market now. I think these are all going to stop trading. I think I heard that. SVXY was the other one. And these are plays on volatility, right? I guess folks were shorting the calmness in the market and, basically, and these are ETNs and ETFs, that XIV and the SVXY. But the thing about this, though, is that as I showed you in the beginning, like some players made really good money and some players really took a beating as these came crashing down. And so now is that going to produce margin calls, and obviously hedge funds are having to sell other stocks to cover their losses in the XIV and the SVXY. So how much more of that is going to be, in this market where hedge funds and the big funds have to sell off because they got hurt by the SVXY and the XIV. All right, so forced selling is going to come into play here. And is this the reason for the speed of the drop also? These ETN, ETFs, once again, the industry doing these kind of weird trades. So is that part of the reason for the flash I guess the flash move down, we'll call it. All right. So, that's a little bit on the markets. And like I say, with the SPY, all the charts pretty much, look the same. The Dow, popped off of the 150 SMA, and then the IWM came down to my 300 SMA here, broke below the 200. We're back above the 200 on the IWM, the IWC. So I'm not going to, belabor, this point. But the thing is now, are these dip buyers going to be rewarded? They've been rewarded in the past, and like I said, the bulls showed up where they were supposed to. The dip buyers came in where they were supposed to. Now are they going to be rewarded? We'll have to see. Currently on my daily charts, we're still below the 5 EMA here, which is this yellow dotted line. So we're still below that. So uh, you know, uh, like I said, and I'll say it once again, the bulls showed up where they need to. Now can they carry it through? So we'll leave it at that at best for the markets. I don't want to, keep. I'm sure you've heard it before, right? The 200 SMA. Maybe it's too obvious, right? Maybe this 200 SMA is an obvious thing, but you would think, that it might stand since we haven't hit this 200 SMA since 2016. That might be a bottoming moment in the market. So we'll see how Monday and the week plays out, especially with all those earnings and whatnot coming out. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into the best stocks for the week. I like to go through the best and worst. APA, the stock down 13%. Beazer Homes in the home builders down 18% on Beazer Homes. CHK, also an oil gas name, down 14% for the week. CMG, after their earnings, down 18% for the week. Also another stock in the oil sector down 11%. Diamond Offshore Drilling, Devon Energy down 13% for the week. Expedia, after their earnings, dropping 18% for the week. EXTR dropping 26%. FedEx, with the news story coming out about Amazon going to start delivering their own packages, or start building that service up. So FedEx dropped 8%. Gurn had a terrible week this week, down 10%. Goose, after their earnings, after this big run up in Goose, that stock was down 15%. iRobot just got clobbered, down 35% for the week after their earnings. MTSI down 38%. NQ dropped 35%. OHGI also dropped 39%. PTEN, another oil sector stock, down 22% there. SVXY, those instruments that I was just talking about, down 90% for the week. TTWO, they had earnings this week. Stock dropped 11%. UPS, another one of those delivery companies that might be hurt if Amazon starts doing its own deliveries, down 9% for the week. USO down 9% for the week. XIV down 96% for the week. ExxonMobil took a hit of 10%. XOMA down 20% for the week. And then Yelp came down 14%. They had earnings. And YRCW, another stock in the transports, trucking, that came down 18%. That might have been related also to the Amazon story. And now, actually, the best stocks for the week. and the first one up is AOI. This stock was up 24%, a connection, I believe, with marijuana play here on AOI, excuse me, up 24%. AQXP had a nice week, up 14%. AVIR up 25% for the week. CBIO up 27% for the week. CPST up 32% for the week. CTIC up 13%. Grub had, after their earnings, up 21%. Mattel coming up off the bottom, up 4%, 5% for the week. MNTX jumped 13%. Riot had a nice week, up 32% for the week on Riot. Skechers had earnings this week, stock up just a little bit for the week, but in comparison to the rest of the group, Skechers held up very well, bounced off the 50, and for the week it was up over 1%. Snap, after their earnings, up 37% for the week, so Snap having a very nice week. TRIP, up 12% for the week. Twitter also, after their earnings, up 22% this week. UVXY, right? Those short-term volatility ETFs up 70% for the week. The VIX itself was up 52% for the week. And then Weight Watchers were ended here for the best and worst stocks for the week, was up 10% for the week on Weight Watchers. So nice daily there, holding up nicely for the best stocks of the week. Just a couple other things I wanted to go over in this video, and then, like I said, I'll be back with a stocks to watch separate video. JNK, here you're looking at it on a monthly chart with a 10 SMA on it. You notice when junk bonds are below the 10 SMA, usually good things don't happen to the market. Okay, that means kind of risk off. Right now on this monthly chart, we are below the 10 SMA here on junk JNK, and also if you look at HYG, almost similar to that. So when we get below the 10 SMA on the HYG and the JNK, usually you can get some moves down. So we're going to have to see how that wants to play out as far as, kind of at, risk off type of instruments there. So JNK, HY, and HYG. Let's go ahead and I'll go through a few stocks. We'll look at, the Apples of the world. We actually, like I said, traded this in the room. We got a beautiful bounce play in Apple, and so that one paid us well on Friday. But, Apple below the 200 SMA, and you're going to see, Facebook. Just go through the market leaders real fast. Facebook bouncing off of its 200 SMA. Amazon not hurt all that much, bouncing off the 50 SMA for Amazon. Google was going down because of its earnings, but also bounced off of the 200 SMA for Google. Tesla, after their earnings, trying to hold around that 300 area. Netflix, we'll take a quick look at Netflix. This was holding up pretty much through the selling, and then finally we got that push down through the 20 SMA on Netflix, but did recover, and it's back over, that 249 area for Netflix. So that's just a few. I don't want to go through too many charts because they're all pretty much the same as far as the charts and whatnot. We went through the best and the worst. As far as the transports and whatnot, we also came down to the 200 SMA on the transports. Gold right now, holding above the 50 SMA here on the GLD. All right, so that's a good sign for gold as it holds above the 50, but silver not faring as well. As you see, we're coming down to the lower end of the range in silver. Gold definitely holding up a lot better than silver. The SMH, like I said, the SMH was down 5% for the week, and we came down close to that 200 SMA, so they did bounce the SMH there. So we'll see if that gets follow through. Nvidia, which if you look at the the monthly chart. Actually, I'll go to the quarterly chart here for NVIDIA real fast. So that stock, you see the parabolic move, and I've talked about this in previous videos. You see that big parabolical move in NVIDIA, so you would think it's due to come in here a little bit, and but that also actually held up pretty well. The lowest it got was down to about 200 bucks. The 100 SMA, nice bounce there on another one of the well, now it is the market leader, I think, Nvidia, after those earnings. So we'll have to definitely, not, we always watch Nvidia, but we'll watch it closer. I would love Nvidia to come back down to about $180 to get another try at some Nvidia for the long term there. So we'll see if that will happen, right? From market selling off, you can actually get, some stocks that you may want to purchase. And, NVIDIA is definitely one that's on my watch list to purchase. All right. So this has been Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead, and I'll be back with another video, stocks to watch, and that'll be up in a little bit. All right. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you gained some information and insights from it, please hit the like button. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell, so when I make a new video, you will be notified by your email. All right, back with another video in a bit.